Chris Cawston sees big changes in the next year in the way dealers will be handling customers.
I'm seeing a much healthier trend in the industry this year than I have for the last few years, Chuck. The industry is, like all industries, I would say, somewhat resistant to change, but I think that the tough times that hit the industry in the last 18 to 24 months have made a lot of people realize that the way things have always been done aren't the way we're going to have to do them going forward to succeed. Every brand in the marketplace is out to differentiate itself and win share against the competing brands, and everybody's looking for new ways to make that happen. Vehicle programs are one option, but they cost a lot of money, take quite a few years to bring to market, and it's an area that dealers and distributors really don't have the influence on to affect change. So they're looking for ways to make changes today, next week, next month, and the balance of this year that allow them to win at the marketplace. And that openness to change in those areas is producing healthy dynamics, I think, in the marketplace. Customer centricity is something we've been talking about for a number of years, and I think it's a prime example of something that we talked about for years, but people weren't very receptive to until fairly recently. And it's really the idea that both your processes and your data should be focused around the customer and what their needs and wants are, rather than trying to force the customer to fit your mold. The key concepts are that if you've got a single view of that customer, single point of truth about who that customer is across the retail channel, you're in a much better position to deal with that person both during the purchase cycle and the ownership cycle in a way that really reinforces the relationship that you want to build with that customer, builds trust, adds value to the relationship, and it's the ingredient that really helps that relationship building lead to increased sales, increased retention, and a lot more trust, which in the end yields better profit out of the customer in the long term. Well, the data challenge is that the automotive retail channel has been very fragmented in terms of the application systems that deliver solutions throughout the channel and the customer data that is stored in those systems across the channel. So trying to understand who a consumer is and where they are in their purchase cycle and how they are likely to behave during their ownership life cycle has been very difficult because there's no single view of all that aggregated data. Every solution out there is working with pieces of the data that are incomplete. So you really can't fault the systems, therefore, for coming up with solutions that are not necessarily well targeted to the needs, wants, and desires of the consumer.